Hey there, kiddos, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Frank with it. You are having a great day, and in today's video, I'm going to be sitting back in my kind of squeaky chair, relaxing and having a little conversation with all of you guys about hate and how you should let the hate flow through you and let the hate flow through others. That's right. We're having a video today about just letting people hate things. You know, just as important as it is to let people enjoy their hobbies, I think it's just as important to allow people out there to express their dissatisfaction with the various products and properties they engage with. Because, like it or not, opinions do matter when it comes to the world of collectibles, the world of gaming, etc. And I know that the concept of toxic positivity is something that some people just don't believe actually exists, but believe it or not, shutting down negative opinions and shutting down open hatred of a concept just with poor anecdotes and saying things like just let people like things is not conductive, not productive, and tends to sour an individual's mood even further on the subject they were already less than satisfied with. But let's first talk about what I think is the productive kind of hatred. And that, of course, is customer dissatisfaction with a product line, especially when that's been going on for a while. You see, let's say that there is a board game named Mystics the Meeting that's been going on for quite some time now. It's a board game about 5 different colored wizard clans that all get together and battle it out for magical supremacy of the worlds. Yeah, that's a good board game. Someone should make that. And for 30 years or so, almost 30 solid years, this board game has gotten expansions, extensions, and new miniatures, and all kinds of lore, and it's really well beloved. And the company behind it, Mages of the Mountain, decides, after nearly 30 straight years of ups and downs, but largely decent releases and storytelling sometimes, occasionally, that they're going to change it. And the next release of this wonderful game is going to suddenly have, I don't know, fucking Fortnite characters in it or something. I don't goddamn know. Goku's in it now. Ronald McDonald has his own expansion for the game. And some people are less than happy about that because they like their games unfortnitified. They don't want Goku in their board game. And they voice that dissatisfaction with the company. And for one reason or another, the company either ignores that outcry of disapproval or talks down to the people who are disapproving, saying, but look at all the people who are willing to pay money. Look at all the people who are willing to engage, and look at all the new customers we're getting. Obviously, you're just a vocal minority. Your opinion doesn't matter. Well, it's true that in that moment, especially with all the wonderful money flowing into the product, that one individual's opinion probably doesn't matter. And as time goes on, that dissatisfaction will turn to outright disapproval and eventually hatred as more and more crossover products are released for their favorite board game of 30 years. Purely hypothetical situation, by the way. And over time, whether it's quickly or gradually, they'll stop buying releases for their board game. They'll buy less and less product as more and more crossover products. There's a Star Wars expansion, a Harry Potter expansion, all things that they objectively might like, but they don't want it in their board game, especially with all their wizard characters that they're so fond of. And they'll be very vocal to their friends, saying that they no longer like this game. They hate it. They hate what it's become. And some of their friends will talk back like, oh, well, that's okay, whatever, you could hate it, but don't muck up our gum. We still like it, so just let us enjoy things. They'll ignore his outcry. But then something will come along, another release. Maybe a new rules expansion for the board game. Maybe a new expansion they don't care about. Maybe some of those friends really hate Harry Potter for some silly reason. Maybe they really hate Star Wars for some silly reason. Maybe there's a My Little Pony set that they really hate for some silly reason. And then they start getting negative and they voice their concerns online and they get talked down to and told that it's not a big issue, that they're a vocal minority, and that there's nothing to worry about because it's still the same game. It just has the ability. You can just choose to play with all these wonderful Fortnite characters. So their dissatisfaction turns to outright hatred over time. And they also slowly opt out of the game. And slowly you see more and more dissatisfied voices popping up, and it's looking less and less like a vocal minority and more like a lot of people really aren't liking this thing. And it really starts to affect not just discourse online and in places where the smartest people on the internet congregate, but it also looks like it's starting to affect sales. Board game stores are reporting that less and less people are buying expansions. They're sitting on shelves for longer periods of time, unsold and unwanted. The Samurai Pizza Cats set, for instance, which is definitely not a thing that exists. The Samurai Pizza Cat expansion just drops and doesn't feel like anyone attended the release event for it, and it doesn't look like anyone's buying the expansion. Or at least not nearly as many people are buying it as the company behind it wants you to believe. The Batman expansion from a few months ago. It looks like it's completely unwanted and is being liquidated at Costco for $10 a box. But the Mages of the Mountain Corporation wants you to think that it's one of the best selling sets of all time. Crazy stuff. Where am I getting with this? Well, it's the fact that hate can build up over time. It can start with dissatisfaction for one reason or another, but if those concerns aren't addressed, or if enough of the community feels that their disapproval is ignored in favor of whatever the company is going to go ahead and do anyway, that hatred can fester and lead to actual, I don't want to say financial damage. Very loud truck zipping by. Remind me to install truck cam sometime. Hatred, well, it's easy to talk down to it and remind people who hate a property, just let people like things. Don't voice your dissatisfaction. Don't complain. Just be silent. Those are the kind of things that cause hatred to fester even further and it causes those people to become even more disassociated with the products they're enjoying. Crazy stuff, honestly. And sometimes, it can be rapid. Let me give you guys an actual real life example. Back in the day, I was a huge fan of a lot of the Pokemon games. I started with the early stuff, as I think everyone else my age did. Pokemon was good. And then around Generation 3, they released Pokemon Coliseum, and then shortly afterwards, XD Gale of Darkness. And while Coliseum was a fun game, I did like it quite a lot. It tried some new things out. It was kind of janky and all that jazz, but I did quite enjoy it. But Gale of Darkness, that game was freaking awesome, man. At the time, I thought it was like the best video game of all time. Obviously, I don't think it's the best now, because there's even other stuff on that console that was pretty solid. But it was definitely the best Pokemon game, in my opinion. And I legitimately thought going forward that every new 3D Pokemon game was going to have to be, there was no way they could release something worse than this. That the next one's going to be even better. Well, fast forward a few years, and on the Nintendo Wii, we get this title called Pokemon Battle Revolution. And, of course, I buy that thinking it's going to be the next big thing. The next Gale of Darkness is going to blow my goddamn balls off. And it's just so disappointing. Gale of Darkness, Coliseum, they have these nice story modes, these new mechanics, a nice collect-a-thon adventure, taking you all over a new region. Whereas Battle Revolution's just a really kind of lame battle sim. Not great. And I fucking hated that game. I was so disappointed with Battle Revolution that I started to dislike the Pokemon franchise. That wasn't the only one, mind you. Not terribly long later, Black and White came out. I wasn't super fond of those. Uh, the Black and White 2 games were not great. And then eventually, Black and White XY, Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon, I think, was where my dissatisfaction with what was going on with Pokemon at the time turned into outright hatred. I hated Sun and Moon, and I stopped buying Pokemon mainline games after that. And to this day, I still have not purchased, for myself at least, I've not purchased a new Pokemon game to enjoy it and play it through because I was just grown so dissatisfied with the franchise that I actually grew to hate new Pokemon releases, and going forward, that has affected my financial decisions with the games. Now, of course, I'm not going to hate the old Pokemon games. I still love Emerald. I still love Yellow Darkness. Yellow is still a lot of fun. A lot of great stuff going on there. But you can see that someone who is deeply in love with a franchise, even someone who loves a franchise for years, if they feel a certain level of dissatisfaction and, yes, a certain level of hatred for certain actions taken by the company, no matter how petty those reasons might be. I mean, come on. Are Sun and Moon really the worst games of all time? No, but I did feel negative enough towards them that I decided to just stop playing Pokemon back then. And over a decade later, I don't feel like I need to regret that decision one bit. Not great games, those ones. Enough dissatisfaction with an individual can shape their financial habits, their spending habits. And if their dissatisfaction is heard by others who resonate with their dissatisfaction, that can inform their spending habits too. And enough people dissatisfied with something can make financial moves, which is why we would see those theoretical unsold board game expansions sitting on company shelves that the company behind everything assures you are just so great. They're the best selling ever, even if they're sitting unsold on store shelves. Good chat, guys. I hope you guys learned something today. Let's just let people hate things. That's really all I got for you guys. Thank you for getting this far in the video. Please like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment down below if you agree with me or disagree with me. I'm always curious to see. I do read every one of you guys' comments. I appreciate it oh so very much. Very lot cards in by. Check out the Discord. Check out the Patreon and the TCG Player Store. Links are in the description below. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and have a great day. Ciao.